Hi guys, how you doing? Well, I am doing great. I'm doing super great. I'm happy. My birthday was just a few hours ago on Thursday, June 6th, and the wishes and gifts have made me a very happy man. And I'm very thankful to the Almighty for letting me live to see my 23rd birthday. Not many people get such a chance. And Bash Mutumba is my name, of course, and I'm here to give you the most trending stories on the Ugandan entertainment scene. Well, we'll start off about this issue of nudes and sex tapes. Really, it's been too much this particular month. The previous month, the month of Ramadan, it has been too much. Almost 4 episodes of leaks every single week. Usually, we are used to seeing just the celebrities involved in this or being affected by this, but lately, almost everyone, different people, civilians, are being affected by this issue of nude leaks. And the biggest question is, why? Who is to blame for this? Well, of course, there is the issue of desire for revenge porn, just like it happened to musician Desire Luzinda back then, when her Nigerian lover, Francis Emobo, decided to leak stuff. And usually this stuff leaks through WhatsApp groups. That's a very simple way that it leaks, and you might not know who actually leaked them. But for the case of Desire and Francis, the guy leaked the stuff on his Facebook page. He actually posted all that stuff on his Facebook page for everyone to see. Imagine. And he didn't care. He had that cavalier attitude. He knew nothing would happen to him. You get? So such kind of revenge porn and social media revenge or something of the sort, that you say, yes, it's not something nice that you think of it in that way. And people like Anita Fabiola, people like Cleith Chotuhere, people like Cindy Sanyu, even though for Cindy's case, they leaked back then before social media was so vibrant, before WhatsApp. So people never got to see them, and she was still skinny back in the day. Because trust me, if they leaked now with this body she has gotten, I don't know. And this issue she has with Shiba, really it would be too much. And actually, there's a point that another person leaked stuff. There's a girl that looks like Shiba. I think she's Tanzanian. She leaked her stuff and people were claiming it's Shiba. For that time it wasn't Shiba, but the pressure Shiba had was serious. So really this thing is not something to play with, and really anyone that does this is not fair. It's not fair for you to bully someone on social media. Cyberbullying is terrible. People actually die after getting depressed from cyberbullying. And even though truly some people capitalize on it, some people do it intentionally. They leak their stuff, because some argue that, these girls, some of them just leak their stuff intentionally to become famous. But really, these are the very few cases. For example, you'd think of Kim Kardashian. If you look at her sex tape with Ray J, I think it's that very thing that made her most famous, her and her family. Even her father's fame of being the best, one of the best lawyers of the 90s, because even dealt with that case of AJ Simpson, Kim Kardashian's father, it didn't give his father all the fame that Kim got from this sex tape. And you'd be shocked that at some point in it, Kim said, "Hi guys, this is Kim," showing that she had actually made it for many people, not just for her and Ray J. So it was obvious that Kim intended to leak that stuff. And she even got more from it, because Kanye West, the husband, claims he crashed on Kim from the sex tape. So really, some people do it intentionally to leak them and earn from it in some way and get famous and all that stuff. But some people actually, many are not involved in this to show it to the entire world, but just for the couple. Yes, they are so in love, they are smitten, and they decide to do just anything their lovers do, or anything their lovers tell them. Open your legs, let me take your photo, or do this, let me take your photo, let me take a video, or something of that sort. And actually, Zari has also suffered this thing before, and very terribly, because for hers it wasn't approving. When you look at tapes like the likes of Desire Luzinda, people are just praising her. "Oh, you're great, you do this and that." You get? She even released songs during that time, Nene Chitone, and the word Chitone, which is actually a Luganda word for talent, somehow got its new word to mean something else, something vulgar, just because of Desire, because Desire's nudes were something so big around here. But Zari, unfortunately for her tape wasn't something that was approving, it was just something shaming. either way, because it was a tape of her masturbating, and most people began to call her desert, dry, Kalahari, something of that sort, because they claim she was dry and stuff of the sort. But she didn't leak that thing as well. She claims one of the lovers she had back in the day got the tape because they were distance from each other, they were far away from each other. Zari is often in South Africa and stuff, so she says she sent the stuff to him and the guy leaked them. She did not reveal who it was because during that time she was on and off with her husband, the late Ivan Semwanga. So whenever they had issues, Zari would go and get a new relationship with the likes of Farouk Sempala, so I think she didn't like to expose such kind of things, but yeah, it happened and they leaked her stuff, and it was a very unfortunate thing to witness. But anyway, Zari also, talking of Zari, she has nowadays or lately not hidden her praise for King Bae, the new lover. And according to her, King Bae gives very good sex. I don't know whether this means other guys haven't been giving her good sex. That's between her and whoever, and that's to you to decide, really. I don't know much about that. But then her problem is she loves too much, really, and if at all she really gets so smitten in love with this guy, we might not know whether it might go well. But the thing is, the guy is so good with kids, and that's the thing that can take away a mother's love to you. If at all you're good with her kids, she can love you forever. And Zari claims, of course in her bragging usual way, that she's getting good sex, she's getting too much money in the bank, and for that reason she's now fat. And she says she doesn't want to get fat, she doesn't want to lose the weight with stress, but she wants to lose it with gym is the only option, which is a direct insult to Diamond, that he was stressing her. Well, it was obvious because he was always cheating, affairs every time, and now, so that was a little obvious. Well, when we go straight back to Uganda now, away from South Africa and Tanzania, we'll talk of Jose Chameleone. Well, Dr. Jose Chameleone has been unfollowed by the president. If you didn't know, President Museveni was only following two male musicians in this country, and that's Bebe Cool and Jose Chameleone. Why? Because mainly they're the ones that have been supporting him. Among the many musicians, very few musicians have supported him, and mainly the young ones, they do not really support the president or the ruling party. And when you think of it clearly, really, Jose Chameleone is by far the most loved male celebrity in Uganda. I'll tell you why. Because no matter what he does, people still love him. For example, Bebe Cool is hated a lot by many youths who don't like the president, but those same people really don't mind Chameleone. Chameleone does even worse things than Bebe, but people keep supporting him. People just love him. No one really cares what he does. And I'll give you an instance of the previous elections. There was the Tubonga Nawe project, which was meant for musicians to support the president and campaign for him such that he could win. Chameleone was a big part of it, and he was one of the guys that got the lion's share of money from that project. And right after it, opposition politicians and youths started a campaign called Boycott Tubonga Nawe, guys. And the people that were affected actually were Bebe Cool, and Bebe was being blamed for it, and no one really cared about Chameleone. People like the Good Life crew, people like Munji, people like King Saha, they all got backlash. But Chameleone, well, heavyweight doctor, no one really cared about Chameleone. And Chameleone keeps doing really not nice stuff, like throwing mics at DJs. When he says play the second song and you're delaying, he throws a mic at you, or insults you badly on stage while everyone is listening with very, very vulgar words. And he's always licking boots of any socialite that comes back from abroad with money. And the worst case that has actually happened in the recent past is the boy that died in his house. The boy had mental problems, but he died in Chameleone's house. He was found burnt to death. But really, the case just died out just like that, and people still love the guy. And one guy shared some dry humor about that particular scenario. It's not something funny, but it's something worth talking about. That when they called the officer of the region to report the case of the boy that had died in Chameleone's house, the caller tune or callback tune that the person had was Chameleone's song, actually, Valu Valu. This shows you how much people love him. Now, how could you report to such a person who is a die-hard fan of the guy that, oh, this guy, there's a kid who has gotten banned from his house. Really, it was a dry joke, but it's something worth noting that people actually love this guy, and he appeals to all age groups, because you think of the young when you listen to songs like Kipepeo, ay mama Kipepeo. It's more of a nursery rhyme to attract the younger generation. Then there are more informative songs that appeal to the older people, and there are other songs that appeal to the younger people, like Vomilia. There are many songs, really, Chameleone, and his style of singing a lot of Swahili also got him the following of the armed men. You realize in Uganda not many people speak Swahili, very few. Civilians, very, very few. Those that maybe live close to the borders of Tanzania and Kenya, they're the only ones that might know some Swahili. But around Kampala, really, it's rare to find someone that speaks it well, apart from someone who has connections or family outside Uganda in East Africa. And the only people that really speak it are the armed forces, people that hold guns, people in uniform. For example, army, police officers, the ones that speak a little bit of it, because it's supposed to be the national language. And Chameleone actually got a lot of love from these people till today. He's like the most loved among the armed people because of his Swahili music. And it's obvious that the president actually loved him even way before this support that he gave him. The president has always loved Chameleone. But it's such a shocker that the president has decided to unfollow him on Twitter. Why? The main reason is Chameleone, for his campaign that he's trying to do, of trying to become the mayor of Kampala district. He has decided to change from NRM, and he has showed signs that he's going to be on the People Power card, the Bobby Wine thing, because he put on that red beret, that signature sign of being a People Power guy. So really, the president decided to hit the unfollow button. So Chameleone is no longer being followed by the president. The only guy now, Ugandan musician followed by the president, is Bebe Cool. Hated guy. And if you could remember, he was actually beaten off stage. He was pelted with bottles on stage during the Taras Riley show at the Swang's All-Star concert. That's Bebe Cool, for supporting the president. But Chameleone, really no one cared. And Bebe Cool actually even went on a break of music for like 3 months, because he wasn't performing, because people were really tough on him for supporting the president. But good old Jose Chameleone has always been the guy's sweetheart wherever he goes, and he's the kind of guy who really changes, like his name says. He changes colors like a chameleon. Today he's supporting the president, tomorrow he's supporting People Power. Wherever there is good stuff for him is where he goes. Very, very sleek, sly guy, that one. Now, next is the wedding drama surrounding Salvador. Well, Salvador, Ugandan comedian, very famous guy, one of the best comedians in Uganda ever, had his traditional wedding earlier this week, to Daphne Frankstock. And one of the biggest things that have happened is that one of the friends of Daphne decided to say crappy stuff about them. I'll read to you the tweet that Urban TV pushed out relating to this. They said, a close friend has revealed that Daphne was on a mission to detooth Idring P and ran away until she fell into the trap. Idring P is Salvador's Twitter, and detooth is actually the Ugandan word to mean con money via false pretense. Like, you're not really, the girl is not really in love with you, but she's just trying to steal your money. That's what we call detoothing in Kampala. It's a jargon from the word kukula in Uganda. So detoothing is like conning off money. And Idring P is a walkman, that's what they said. And then Salvador wasn't actually so happy about this. He actually quoted their Twitter and said, every woman deserves a man who she'll detooth until they end up with children and married. To all men out there who are being detoothed, keep on keeping on. I think the term close friend is actually far-fetched. Otherwise, she would have been invited for the Kwanjula. Yes, and right there, Salvador revealed that the girl wasn't invited for the Kwanjula, so she's just claiming to be a close friend, but she's no longer one. And well, for the comedian that he is, he cracked people's jaws when the vow time reached. Usually musicians at their weddings and their Kwanjulas, they'll sing, but comedians will make people laugh, and Salvador did just that. Well, Kwanjula is the traditional wedding that's done before the real, not real, but before the church wedding or the mosque wedding or something like that. It's the traditional wedding. So when the vows were being exchanged, Salvador just made people laugh, calling the wife Mochotara. What, that video is so funny. I can't explain it, as you know, I'm no comedian, but it would have been easier if you guys can watch it. I don't think my producer would put it in because it has some background music. Gutuja by Rema. It has some background music, so it might have copyright issues. It might bring us some issues, but I really hope you guys can find it somehow and watch it. It's so hilarious. Well, that's all from me today. Like, comment and subscribe if you found this interesting, and please check me out on Instagram at Bashmotumba. Sayonara.